These are 3 things you should stop doing on your New York City rental applications. Or at least 3 things that you should keep an eye out for. For those that have been renting in New York City for a while, you know how invasive the rental application process is. Landlords are going to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And I would say that when landlords see these things on an application, it's definitely a red flag for them, or they're just going to have follow-up questions, it's going to delay the process, and maybe they end up giving the apartment to someone else. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Alia Mohammed. I'm the co-founder of Open Igloo, and I share tips and info on renting in New York City, so be sure to give us a follow. Okay, so number 1, stop sending incomplete bank statements. Landlords are always going to ask for the past 3 to 6 months worth of your bank statements. What a lot of renters will do is they'll only send the first page, like the summary page of the bank statement. And I get it, you don't want to send 30 pages of every single thing that you spent to your prospective landlord. But the reason that they want to see the transaction data is they want to verify that you are getting a salary deposited into that bank account every so often. And they want to confirm that that salary is coming from the employer that you said you were employed by. So seeing the starting and ending balance just isn't going to be enough for them. So what you could do instead is just black out everything on your bank statement except for the starting balance, ending balance, the month obviously, and the transaction lines where your employer is depositing your check. Okay, number 2, this is not going to necessarily result in a rejection, but it's going to give the landlord pause, and they're definitely going to have follow-up questions, so it's just better to get in front of it. If you filed your last tax return jointly with a spouse, but you are not applying to the apartment with that spouse and all of their information and their ID, etc., the landlord is going to have questions. Thorough landlords are going to want all of the adults that are going to be living in the apartment to apply together. So if you have a logical explanation as to why you are not applying for the apartment with the spouse, just own it up front. We broke up, we're long distance, whatever it is, just declare it at the beginning. And number 3, this is relevant for self-employed applicants. We get a lot of questions from renters saying that landlords aren't accepting their business bank accounts or their business tax returns. Honestly, applying for an apartment as a self-employed person is really challenging in New York. But one of the things that you could do to sort of preempt this line of questioning is to have a personal bank account, and a few months before you know you're going to be applying for apartments, make sure that you're doing sort of frequent transfers from the business bank account to your personal bank account. This way the landlord's going to be able to verify that you are paying yourself consistently and paying yourself enough money to cover the expenses of your apartment. Have any of these 3 things come up on a rental application for you? Let us know in the comments.